here with Miami coach Anthony Noreen heading into the home opener against Alaska Anchorage, and we will take some questions.
Coach, I want to get into breaking down Ferris State at some point and look ahead, but first I want to ask you, this is going to be the first home game for you, the first time in your barn that you're going to be announced as a Division I head coach. So I want to know what the emotions are, what the anticipation's like when those lights go off, when hopefully we get the Goggin rocking and you're announced as Miami's head coach. What are you anticipating feeling?
Yeah, and Wads and I had a pretty similar conversation the other day before the first game in general, and it was, listen, I told him, and it's the truth. Like I pride myself on being someone who's pretty good at just staying in the moment and just what's right in front of me, and I'm just never really that high. I'm probably high, but like at a pretty consistent basis, and don't really get too low, and just don't really overlook anything that's just other than what's right in front of me. But listen, I think it's no different than the kind of conversations we had with our guys last week about like nerves are a good thing. Like it's good. It means you care. You know what I mean? It means there's a lot that's gone into it. And also you don't get to this point as one of our players or as a coach or anybody in this game, specifically hockey, and just the amount of road trips and equipment and costs and all those things that come along with it, and sacrifice mostly of time and things like that. You don't get to these levels without a lot of people having done those things for you and a lot of people having sacrificed. So not so much about you and me, but like there's a lot of people that have helped me get this opportunity and pave the way. And whether it's my parents or family or coaches or players I play with or guys I've worked with, whether it's, people that have believed in me and given me an opportunity here. So that stuff matters. It means a lot. I'd be lying if I didn't say that there was, that you felt some emotion towards it. Having said that, probably no different than last Friday at Ferris. Once that puck drops, like you're in coaching mode. You could be in a parking lot or you could be in a 20,000 seat stadium. I've never one time ever noticed a crowd noise or a crowd booing or a crowd cheer. Like you're in a zone, and that to me is one of the coolest things about coaching and about sports and about just kind of being in that, in that mindset where, like you said, you're just in a zone and in a flow state, and pretty special thing.
Coaching at the college level, how much did you notice? Was there much difference at all between USHL? I mean, they're obviously outside of a little rule changes here or there, or the physicality, maybe the refereeing a little bit.
I think certainly the size, strength, and the speed. I mean, I think that's the reason guys a lot of times play junior hockey is to get bigger, stronger, faster for this level, for the the pro level beyond that. And I thought that was noticeable right from the beginning, just the difference in size and strength and the speed. And I would say just the overall structure too. Like you could tell the guys are well coached. You could tell the team was organized that we were playing against. And, I think it pushes you to make sure that your detail is better, to make sure your workouts and how we're tracking our data and how we're tracking our practices and things like that. That stuff all matters because even you're looking at a team like Ferris State, and obviously those were two really hard fought games, and the difference was a couple small plays here or there that could have been the difference in a tie to a win to a loss, and that stuff all matters.
You also took the entire team with us. So we traveled up there by bus. All 30 guys that are on the roster went with you. How good is that to start on the road for all these guys to kind of bond together? You guys became a team really in the days leading up to it, but even more so on the road.
Yeah, and I know that's not the norm in college sports, not probably the norm in sports at all, to travel your whole team, and especially when you got 30 and 21 are dressing. We thought it was important. We thought it was important after everything that guys have gone through and everything we've talked about everybody mattering. Whether you're in the lineup, you're a starting goalie, or you're our 18th forward, every guy here matters. Every guy's important. Every guy's a part of this. And sometimes your part of it is what you're doing on the ice on a Friday. Sometimes your part of it is your support for your teammates, or maybe how you handle being out of the lineup and things like that. And we just felt like it was really important. We're glad we did it. We were glad everyone was around. And I mean, you saw it. I mean, they were a team. They stuck together. We went through some ups and downs and a lot of things. And I thought it was good for everyone, healthy for everyone, to be around for those things, to be around for our meetings, to be around the guys, and just kind of feel the emotions of that weekend.
Coach, from last weekend, you knew Ferris State was going to pour a lot of shots on them, shoot it from anywhere, and I think that was clearly the case in the first game. But and probably don't want to see your goalie with a career high in saves every game, but clearly we're able to rebound in the second game, limit their shot selections a little bit. What was the growth like from day one to day two? A lot of new faces playing together. So how did they grow from that first game Friday to Saturday?
Yeah, and I know from the outside it's really easy to just look at it was a tie and it was a tie. And at the end of the day, like that's what it was. Having said that, I thought our game from Friday to Saturday was night and day better. Like not even in the same ballpark individually and as a team. And again, it's really easy as a coach to come up with, hey, here's where we need to be better, and here's some areas, and here's some individual guys that we're going to challenge, things like that. You know, the key is them actually listening, seeing themselves in the video clips we show, whether it's them in it, whether it's not, whether it's a negative clip, whether it's a positive, and being able to learn from it. And then the key part, being able to apply it in the game. And I thought we did. I mean, Friday night, we weren't at our best. We were nowhere near it. And I think the shots, and that was self-inflicted. It was our fault. It was a bunch of major mistakes. It was breakdowns. It was, structure. It was individuals maybe not being up to where the caliber where they could be. Having said that, I thought Saturday was, like I said, night and day difference. I mean, we limited their odd man breaks tremendously. I think we cut them in a third. We outscoring chanced them 3-1, whereas Friday night we got outscoring chance. It was close, but they outchanced us. We won the special teams. I mean, I don't know how many times in hockey you're going to go 2 for 7 on a power play, 5 for 5 on a kill, score a shorthanded goal, outchance a team 3-1, give up 2 odd man breaks, like all those things, and not wind up with a win. I don't know if that'll happen again ever in my time here. Like it was just a rarity. Having said that, that's why we try and narrow the focus on those things and be process based. And listen, we want results. There's a reason why first row when we step on ice to practice today, it's, hey, we're playing. This is for a win. This is for a loss. Losers skate. You're going to feel it. Winners, you guys get to go relax. Like we want results and we want to win. Having said that, we're trying to put a formula together and a process together that not just when we win, we can evaluate ourselves on, but I hope there's a day and a time that this program comes to where we're winning games and we're saying, yeah, we won, but this, and this wasn't good enough. These are the things we want to pride ourselves on and we want to do every night. And hey, we need to be better than that if we want to be the team we want to be. So again, we were really happy with the progress from Friday to Saturday. Now the key is, can we take what we learned Saturday, build on the good, learn from the bad, and get better over the course of this week for a really good Alaska team this weekend.
As you kind of settle into the season and get going, probably going to see lines shift around, and based on style of play, once the lights come on and you're in a game situation, hard to replicate that in practice. But how have you seen the guys kind of gel together and play well together since you've gotten these 2 games under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, I think without a doubt there's some chemistry between certain guys. I think you saw chemistry pretty early on in that first period of game 1, and then we lose Johnny, and that's hockey. Things will happen. Next man up. We got some different guys. I thought, obviously it was awful to lose Johnny, but we got to see some different guys in different line combinations that Friday night. Then we got to adjust for Saturday and adjust this week, with lines and D pairs and things like that. And also, it was good to get a lot of special teams reps. Obviously, you don't want to go in the box too many times, but to be able to put guys in situations and key kills. For our power play to get a lot of reps, again, that's just something that it just takes time to work through and the chemistry to work through. And we scored some big goals in the power play, which I thought were huge, and it was both units contributing, and there were a lot of guys that contributed on the kill as well. So again, that'll be an ever-evolving thing. Specifically, the line combinations, we're gonna go out with something probably similar on Friday, just to kind of see how guys respond, and obviously health. We'll see where that's at. Try to come Friday morning and see who's available. But again, we're figuring that stuff out. But we want to make it competitive to get into the lineup. We want to make it competitive to stay into the lineup. And that's not just Saturday night. Like that's Saturday nights can end. We're going to show up here Monday, and here's the lines, and you could tell whether you're in or you're out. But like, you better perform on Monday. You better perform right from that first drill on Monday. You better perform on Tuesday. You better be ready to go in the weight room. You better be dialed in our video sessions. Like, that stuff all matters to be able to keep yourself in the lineup. And then it's your opportunity to go out and showcase yourself on Friday, Saturday. But again, I think that competition's been good for us.
You mentioned it a little bit, but I was just curious if you have anything you can tell us about Johnny's availability this weekend, and just also how important he's been in practice for you, kind of getting reps as well, even through this kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's an important player. He's an important player on the ice for us. He's an important person in our locker room and on our bench. He's a veteran guy. He's had success in this league. He's a guy that had a great summer, and he's, you talk about someone that wants to build on the success and push this thing to another level. Like, a lot of guys believe in this program. Johnny Waldron right at the top of this, who was adamant, and one of the guys that could have probably picked anywhere to go and leave, and he wanted to be here and believes in this place. So obviously we all want to get him back to health soon. Upper body injury, he skated today. Our hope is that he's a full go for the weekend. Having said that, it's just way too early to say right now.
Emotions are going to be high this weekend, not just, I'm sure, just for you, but also for the guys in that locker room. How do you, as a coach, get them to kind of feel all that? You mentioned the nervousness and how that's a good thing, but how do you get them to feel that kind of emotion, but also keep them concentrated on the goal and kind of stable as well, just in terms of back and forth?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we got to realize that all those things are in our mind. And like I said, I think it's we don't run away from feelings and how we feel and the emotions. And like I said, I think that stuff's all good. It's part of what's special about sports and team sports and representing your university. And a lot of guys, I'm sure, will have family in town and girlfriends or whatever else. That stuff's great. It's great. But at the end of the day, we know what's going to matter when the game ends. And what's going to matter is how they perform for those people and for themselves, and mostly how they perform for the rest of the guys in the room. So the focus needs to be on that. And what is it for you individually that makes you successful? What is it for this team that makes us successful? Let's focus on those things. And I think what a really good player does and what a really good team does is they're really good self-evaluators. And they look at their game last week and they look at, Friday night versus Saturday night. How did I feel Friday? Why? What did I sleep like? What did I eat like? What was my pregame nap like? What was I like? Was I loose going into the game? Was I uptight going into the game? How was I Saturday? When did I perform better? And then what you do is you find a routine to replicate that, and you fall in love with that routine. And I know for the outside world, sometimes when you hear an elite athlete's routine, you might that sounds so monotonous and so boring. And how do they do that? And they put their shoes on the same way and they get this time. You have to, the best of the best, fall in love with it. And I think it's the same thing as a team. We got to figure out what it is that puts us at our best. And obviously that's something we're going to always be chasing. But what is it that made us better Saturday versus Friday? How do we replicate that? How do we do that again? How do we put ourselves in that frame of mind so that when it ends on Friday night, we are feeling the best possible we can, and then you self-evaluate and you team evaluate again.
Anchorage is coming in, Alaska Anchorage. Never played them before here in Oxford. In fact, haven't played them in almost 40 years. But you got a chance to get some tape on them. They played a familiar opponent for us in Denver. So what did you see from Anchorage? What do they have coming in here this weekend?
Yeah, obviously a really good Denver team that's probably better than the Denver team that won the national championship last year, just with the amount of guys they have returning and things like that. And I thought Alaska, we felt like pushed them hard, and they were tight, hard-fought games. Obviously, they were at home, so there was a lot of pride in it for them. You're playing the number one team, easy to get up for. They were big, they were physical. We felt like they were really structured, really did a good job defending as groups of five, really organized. And again, I just think it's going to be similar to Ferris. We're going to see that bigger, older, stronger team that is not going to give you anything for free. And so we're trying to make it as contentious as possible this week to get ready for those situations. But it's going to come down to a lot of battles. It's going to come down to corners and net fronts. And again, they're not going to give it to you for free or easy. We could tell that through the video.
One last thing, we're talking with Connor Hutchison this week as well. You had a chance to coach him at juniors. What do you see different from him way back then to where he has his days at Sacred Heart to coming in here now? Obviously had a pretty nice opening game Friday night.
What I love about him is a lot of the same reasons I loved him there. And that's just the way that he goes about things. You talk about just an enjoyable person to be around every day that does it right but keeps it loose. Doesn't take himself too seriously, loves the game, just like a pure energy guy that makes guys around him better. He changed our team. When we brought him into our team in Tri-City, we were a really good group, but we were a young group. We were an uptight group, and that kid came in, and just the way he went about what he did, I think there's a lot of guys that are playing in the NHL and playing beyond that he had a huge part of changing their careers. And what I like about him here is obviously he's got all that. He's mature. He takes care of his business. He helps guys around him. He's got that. I've said it a couple times in press conferences here, where one of the things that we're very adamant about in our recruiting and finding of players that are going to change this thing is there's got to be something about you that makes the other guys better. It's hockey. You're not going to be on the ice 60 minutes a game. If you're lucky, you might be on the ice 20 minutes a game. So what are you doing, and what are the other guys that are going to have to be on the ice as well? They're going to have major roles. What are they doing? What are you doing to make them better? And Hutch is he's got that thing about him. It also helps that he can run a power play, and he's got some offensive skill, and I think his game has grown tremendously. His leadership attributes have grown tremendously. Like, just the guys that he trained with in the summer are, elite NHL players, being around them. And I think he's taken a lot of that and brought it here. And I just think he's really excited to be part of this venture, of helping turn this program around and be a part of this program for his last year of college hockey. And, feel really fortunate to have him here.
Here with Connor Hutchison in Miami, hosting Alaska Anchorage this week in the home opener, and we'll take some questions.
Connor, welcome to Oxford, one of the transfers here this year, and you set the bar kind of high. That first game, goal and 2 assists. But tell me a little bit, one, about the game, but maybe the whole kind of transfer portal and coming here and trying to get acclimated to Miami.
Yeah, I thought we played well both nights. I think we honestly played better Saturday than we did Friday, but just a couple of bad bounces, a couple of guys getting behind us, a couple of bad goals against, but I think we'll clean it up and we'll be better this weekend. And just the portal. I played for Coach Noreen when I was in Tri-City and Tibbs too, and loved playing for both those guys. And when I saw that they got the job here, I kind of called my advisor right away and was like, I think, for my last year, I'd love to play for these guys again. And it's been everything that I remember. I love playing for these guys. So.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that. Getting a chance to play for Coach Noreen again, and Coach Thibodeau as well. Had you ever been to Oxford before? Did you know anything about Miami University?
Yeah, actually, when I was I think maybe 15 or 16, I was getting recruited by the old coaching staff here, but I was just a little bit too young and didn't even really know what college was. I left, and my dad's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I don't know." But now that I'm older and know what I'm looking for in my college experience, this place is really special, and I've loved my time here so far.
So finally had a chance to get out on the ice after practicing and getting acclimated. It's obviously new coaching staff and a lot of new faces on the team. Hard to replicate that in practice. So with that being the first series last weekend, what were you able to really take away from that series as far as gelling as a team and sort of figuring out each other's habits and places on the ice?
Yeah, well, I think, from day one, you really harped on what our identity as a team is going to be for that year, for the year. And I think we've done a great job of taking all the information they've been giving us and playing within our structure. And even the 2 assists I had, I just quick transition, I just not even really thinking, I know where there was going to be guys far up on the weak side and just pass it right up, and that's how we want to play fast. And but I think it's been great, and I think we got better as the weekend went along, and I think we're only going to get better as the year goes on.
Ferris, sort of their style, take a lot of shots, and looks like, at least so far, they went up against Denver, but Alaska Anchorage wasn't able to muster quite as many shots as Ferris State was able to. So what's sort of the different playing style with Anchorage? What's that going to bring this weekend for you?
We haven't really gotten too much into into the pre-scout. We kind of just looked over their forecheck. But going into Ferris, we knew in the pre-scout they're just going to be throwing pucks all over, especially in that barn too. It's a little small and it's crazy bounces. So we knew they were going to be kind of just throwing everything on net, but haven't really got a chance to look at anything other than the forecheck so far for Anchorage.
You and Michael Quinn have been quarterback in the 2 power play units. How have you helped him as a freshman, kind of coming in? Both of you guys are new here, but you have experience with that kind of in play style in your own game. How have you kind of tried to help him since getting here?
Oh, I think he's awesome. I think he's done a great job, especially as a freshman. I think even like he's helped me out with some stuff too. Just stay on after practice. We work on a lot of stuff, and no, but he's pretty silky up there too for a freshman.
First home weekend here, new era in this program. I mean, what are your kind of feelings going into this, first couple games here at Goggin?
Yeah, no, I'm just really excited to play in front of the fans, and I got my family coming into town this weekend, so I'm just really excited, and hopefully we come out with 2 wins.
I want to ask you about the transfer portal a little bit. Your freshman year, you actually started in Vermont and then went back to play for Coach Noreen. You're also their teammates with Raymond Vitалins back then as well. This whole transfer portal thing now, you're going to have a chance to go somewhere new and maybe be teammates with guys that you played against, like when you were at Sacred Heart. So what's that kind of that whole experience like with Raymond's back in the day and now maybe playing against some guys you're now teammates with? Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like even like I never thought I'd get to play with Ray again. I mean, we were good buddies when we were at Vermont. He's a clown, but no, it's cool. And like even I actually went to high school with Ryan Sullivan. We won nationals together when we were seniors. So when I was going through the whole process, those were 2 guys I was reaching out to and talking to, and I'm glad to be playing with both those guys again.